Okay, let's get into editing your Thrillshare web page. So right now I'm in Thrillshare. You've successfully logged in using the document provided. And where most of you are going to live is over here on CMS. The media portion of this is a separate training. Contact your coordinators or Matt Mariglia, that's me, in central office, if you do have media permissions. Other than that, this training is just to use the content management system, which is going to be your front facing website. So, right now, over here on the right, you can see that I am in Star Point Central School District. Most of you probably will be in a specific building, and you'll see that up there. If you are managing pages in multiple buildings, you want to make sure you're in the right one. So I'm going to click on CMS, which is what all of you are going to do. And I'm going to go into unpublished because that's where my sample website is. So you can see my website has been set up for me previously by a coordinator. It is unpublished. It's not in any menu. Restricted is okay. Restricted meaning only certain people can edit it. And you want to know who's editing your web page. It's right over here. So there's me. You might have two of these here. Maybe me or another coordinator and your initials here as well. And then I can actually duplicate the page if I'd like. I can rename or copy relative link here, and I can edit. And that's really what most of us are going to need to know how to do, which is go into edit. But before we do, over here on the left at any time, I can visit the site to see what it looks like. I have my help center, which is a little bit obscured by my Screencastify here. My help center's there. And don't forget, you also have the live pop-up chat if you so need to talk to somebody for some help. So I'm going to click on this to edit my page. And you can see this is the kind of like the overview page of my website. You can see that it's not published. I have some page info here. I also have an activity log that will show what's been done to it. This is the main version and how it appears right now if it was live. And then the draft is something that has not been published yet or confirmed. So these are the same right now, but this is the kind of the screen that you'll see. I can share from here if I'd like, if I wanted to add another person to work on this with me. And this is where I can edit my draft. I can also rename it if I want, duplicate it, and copy the relative link to it. So let's just go into edit because that's where most of you will be spending your time. So this is our edit page here. You can see anything I do is saved to my draft. I have undo and redo. I can preview what it looks like. That's a really nice screen that allows me to see what it looks like in a computer, a tablet turned sideways, a phone, and a phone turned sideways. So if I really want to see what this website looks like, I can preview it. That's kind of a nice screen to have. After I do some editing, I can review those changes to see what they look like, and I have the same two things here for my three dots: discard the draft or copy a relative link. So now let's get into actually editing the page. So there are two ways to edit the page. One is you have to put in a layout that you wish to use, and you can have multiple layouts, and it's a simple drag and drop. And then these content blocks that are kind of blank will appear once I drop in a layout. So I'm going to drop in a one column layout for now. Notice I can drop multiple layouts in by just adding another one if I'd like. And then within these spaces is where I can drop content blocks that suddenly lit up. And you have a bunch that we'll take a quick look at. I have headline ones, so I can put in a headline. I have text ones that I can drop, and that's a little bit more of smaller text here. Notice I have a lot more editing capabilities up here with text than I do with headlines. I only have a couple here. I can, as I drop in these content blocks, I can move them around. I can move this above it or below it. I also can move full layouts as well. So if I wanted a 2-column to be above the 1 column, I can simply drag that as well. Now, when I click on inside, you notice how I click on one, it says headline, here's a content block. I click on another, here's a text block. But I can also click on the entire column. And if I wanted to get rid of the entire column, I could simply do that or duplicate it if I want. There's duplicating it and there's trashing it. So, and it's always going to give me, are you sure you want to do this? So remember, the layouts are necessary for me to drop in content to actually design my site. So I'm going to take my layout here and I'm going to drag it to the top. Then I have some ability to add some images. So all images are either uploaded as a single image, you can create a gallery, or you can use a slider. And with every one that I drop in, it's going to ask me if I want to upload an image, and I do. So I'm going to hit upload, and I'm just going to pick an image real quick. I'll put in the logo here. It's going to ask you always to add alternative text. So I'm going to put logo. I can choose it to be a decorative image, which means I don't have to add alternative text. Then any image I add, I can actually edit two ways. One, by hitting the pencil. That will allow me to change some things about it, actually only show a portion of it if I want it. This is scalable, so I can move this. And then I will have some editing ability over here on the left by adding captions, how I want the image to appear. I can manually adjust it. I can align it. I can align the caption. And then I have some choices of some actions. I can have no action. I can have a light box where the image pops up, or I can actually add a link to my image to make it clickable. So most of your content blocks will have something over here on the side as you drop. Same thing as a gallery. If I drop a gallery in, I'm going to drop a gallery over here. If I hit upload, I can add an image. I'm going to add an image to that. We're going to use the redder version of the logo. And then you can see that the editing portion over here on the left has changed. I can also hit the pencil and do some things to the image very similar to the single image. So the gallery, I can add about 10, and then I can control how many columns, and as they're clicked, do I want a light box to pop up? So that's the gallery. And another way to control images is a slider. So I'm going to put that one here. I'll upload just one picture into the slider. Let's throw in the Spartans logo here. Make it decorative for the sake of time. And then you can see as each image I add in the slider, I can do what I did to the single image. And the slider is just going to look exactly like a picture slider would look. And I think a lot of you have seen those. So those are basic images. But we do have a lot of other things as well. So let me get rid of these images so that you can see that a little better. Delete that block there. I will delete that block there so you can see me actively editing things. I'm going to leave that one there. But we're going to drop in a code. This code that I drop in will allow me to do some embed code things. I'm going to make a separate video on dealing with embed codes, especially if you have Google Docs that you've created that you wish to embed on your page. So that's the embed code there. I also have a video element as well. I'm going to drop that in down here. When I click on it, it's going to allow me to add a YouTube video URL here. I can also put in Vimeo videos, but YouTubes are the ones you want to stick with. So if you do have a YouTube video you'd like to use, you can drop in a URL for a video there. Let me delete that block for you. Accordion style. So if we have sections of our website, this is probably one of the most useful blocks. When I drop this in, you can see I can give it a section name. I'm going to call it, let's say I'm going to call it important dates. And then I'm able underneath it to drop in text if I'd like. So when I go back here, I can actually take some text and drop it in here. And maybe I want to say that on 9/12, there is a parent meeting. Okay, so this allows me to do that. And I'll show you what the accordion looks like when I hit preview here. Let me go to the full thing here. So there's an accordion. You see it says important dates. It'll have a plus symbol there. And when I click and open that, it allows you to put a lot of information in a small space, and I can have multiple sections to my accordion. So that's kind of nice there. And then I can control what it looks like. Do I want it to be light, dark? I can control the little icon style, plus or minus. And I can allow multiple panels open at once. I can do some controls to the accordion style. It allows you to put a lot of things in a spot. So anytime you're inside a accordion panel, you want to add another section, you simply click on that and it adds another section here. And I can also drag and drop blocks in from the side as well. I can put in slider images. Allows me to hide a lot of things, which is nice. And I can even close it right while I'm working so that it gives me more space. So that's an accordion. A space, if I drop this in, it's just going to hit add space, and I click on that, and it can give me like a little bit of a bar of an area. So let's say I want to make that 9. It's going to give me some space. Back it up. You can see it gives me a little bit of some open space here that allows me to space things out to maybe make them match. If I want to use a separator line, I can do that too. Click on that. There's a separator. I can control the thickness of the line, and I have multiple different colors that I can use for this by drag and drop in this bar over here and make it red if I'd like. So that's what a separator does. A card. Let's drop in a card. This is nice if you have maybe pictures. This is nice if you want to do like maybe an intro of yourself. You can add a picture of yourself, and then you have a little bit of a title. Call it All About Me. I can upload a picture of myself. Let's try that. I think I got a picture of me and my daughter from a while back. We'll call it decorative for now, so I can throw it in there. And then I can write in whatever I write. I can have a box with shadows. I can add separators to it. I can have nothing, headline, image, toggle image position, wrap the text. Again, a lot of different editing things that you can play around with when you're using cards. I think cards are super useful if you're doing pictures and texts at the same time. Table, I caution people in using tables. They're here. They're sometimes difficult to use if you need them. You can add columns and text here. Sometimes they don't always turn out the way you want. Do you want a header row, a header column, light, dark? You can change the colors. It's really up to you. I'm not a big fan of tables, but you can use them. If you are a fan of quotes, you can throw in a quote if you want. So I can enter the quote. I'm here now. And then the author is unknown. And I can even throw in a source. And I'm going to hit the little preview so you can see what some of this stuff looks like. There's the card, there's the accordion, there's the quote, there's the line, there's a little bit of space, there's the image. So these are all things you can play around with when you're using your website. Forms. Forms are newer-ish. No form has been selected yet. Click this block and select the form in the sidebar. We can put up forms that we pre-create as a coordinator or administrative staff, and then you can choose from those to put them up on your website. We haven't done that yet. Because we use Google Forms, it's easier to embed a Google form or put a Google form link right inside your website than use what they have. Last one they have here is a button. And again, it's a simple active button. So once I start typing, I can say click here, or I can call it something. Again, I have options to change it. Make it really big, regular, change the colors. I can make it rounded if I don't want it to be square. I can align it wherever I'd like it. Again, I can have more than one button if I'd like. Expectations, there's a good one there. And then as I click on these right here, or as I change these, you can see you have a little link button here. You also have the ability to move them and flip them different spots if you'd like. So the link is really the important part, because when you hit click here, it'll take you to wherever you want it to go. It's nice for documents, pictures, if you don't want your website to be filled. So buttons are a nice thing to use for that. So those are all the different content blocks, and here are all the layouts as well. Again, this is the longest video in the series. The next couple that I'll show to you are how to use the embed code and then how to publish after you're finished. Thanks for watching.